My eating disorder started at 8 years old. I remember sneaking food from the pantry and just eating because it felt good. Um, I don't really know why else except I was just lonely and so I ate. And I was a chubby kid, so I remember a time in fifth grade when I was made fun of because of my weight. And that was probably the first time I knew I was fat and the first time I really had my feelings hurt when kids made comments about it, and I knew there was something wrong with me. I was never really a popular kid. The popular girls wouldn't include me, and I always thought it was because I was chubby. I remember moving when I was 13 and having to start a new school in 8th grade, and I didn't make friends right away, and I knew there was just something different about me and didn't really know what it was. I was shy, but I also just had that underlying feeling that I wasn't good enough and that just something was wrong with me and I needed to prove myself. It was the following year, my freshman year, when somebody had told me that no one wanted to be my friend when I moved there because they didn't want to be friends with the fat kid. Fast forward to my sophomore year, I lost some weight, and that was the first time that I got attention from boys, and that definitely fueled the start of my yo-yo dieting and essentially starving myself. So the rest of my high school career was snacking during the week and not eating a real meal, and then being so hungry and bored on the weekends that I would binge on the weekends. So it was just hating being at home because that's where food was, and needing to be back at school so I could starve myself. My freshman year of college, I lived at home and I played basketball at a community college, and just still struggled with my identity and trying to earn everyone's approval. I had a successful season, but I just couldn't get food out of my mind. I couldn't get my body out of my mind. And at this point, I still was just yo-yoing. I was trying to eat what I thought was healthy, but would starve myself, but not performing as well as I could because I didn't know how to feed myself. And my basketball career ended with a back injury that was progressed from a previous surgery, and I transferred to Washington State University, and that's where I developed bulimia. I just knew something inside me, and just these lies inside of me told me that the only way I would be good enough and deserve anyone's love is if I was skinnier and if I was in control of my life. And I just felt like I had to prove myself to everybody, and I was a people pleaser. And so I just started exercising and stopped eating. And I just remember being so hungry and so exhausted. And I'd remembered this video I'd watched in middle school that was supposed to be eating disorder awareness, but really taught me how to be bulimic. And I figured I might as well try it because she got skinny that way. And so I was 18, 19 the first time I made myself throw up. And from there, I was just addicted to it. I couldn't stop. If I did eat, I threw it up. And then I learned that I could eat so I could throw up because it made me feel better. I felt like I had a sense of control. I felt like I was doing something productive, like I was better than other people because I was getting thinner and I was getting attention, and I would go to these parties and men were noticing me, boys rather, and my girlfriends and my family could notice that I was getting thinner, and it was a positive feedback. And so I was just out of control, and I spent the next really 3 years just going back and forth and going through kind of some traditional rehabilitation. And I remember my doctor asking me why my goal weight was what it was, and um, I couldn't answer. I just knew I wasn't going to be satisfied until I reached that weight, and um, no one understood. No one in my recovery and rehab experienced what I had experienced, and so when they would tell me to stop making myself throw up, I didn't trust that I ever could, and that I ever could be okay. And I was told I would always struggle with an eating disorder, and so it really wasn't until I got plugged in with my church and the pastor started counseling me, and I started getting to the root of my issues of why I was restricting food and why I was controlling my life. And that was when I started to make a turning point, and it wasn't just a 180. Throughout all of that, I also was self-harming and had suicidal ideation, and the times when throwing up wasn't enough, I would take an ink pen and I would just scratch my arm. I was too afraid to actually cut myself because I didn't want to die, but the pain, the physical pain, felt better than what was going on inside of me. And I just remember, really it was probably a matter of 6 months when I just was experiencing love from the people around me in a way I hadn't before, but it was Jesus and the love of God that got me to believe that I needed to stop doing what I was doing with the eating disorder, because I was God's daughter and I was worth loving, and that He had a plan and a purpose. And so I've been in recovery about 8 years, and I can say that I am recovered, that when I seek the Lord, my mind is renewed and the lies just die down. I know that that God has got me. He's been here the whole way, and I just want to share a verse that has really helped me. It's Zephaniah 3:17. The Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by His love. He will exult over you with loud singing. And that verse has been one that I have just clung to know that that God loves me just because of who I am, because I'm me, not because I'm skinny, not because I've accomplished something, but He just loves me. And I just really pray that you're encouraged through this. If you do know somebody with an eating disorder, or you suspect, just have the conversation. I remember if someone would have just asked me if I was okay, I was so ready to say no and to get help, but I just was afraid. I was ashamed of what I was doing. And so I've attached a link to just some information about eating disorders and how you can help if you know someone with an eating disorder. So be encouraged and just be blessed.